This is the Lindberg Line USS Hazard, the admirable class U.S. Navy Minesweeper in 1/125 scale. This is a very old kit, and I went to my local hobby store today and found several of these old kits that they're fun to build. I remember building stuff like this when I was a young kid. And yeah, they're kind of crude and, you know, old. But it's just like me. I'm old and crude, so hey, why not? Anyhow, it's this is a package thing here that's in pretty good shape. Looks like the hull and a bunch of pieces in one bag, a bunch of other sprues in the other bag. You got the old Lindberg instructions. There's part of the deck. Almost looks like it's broken, but it's not. That's the way it's molded. They give you some line here. Let's see what else they give you. They give you a couple of metal propeller shafts. They give you 2 sets of decals. The bigger of the two has has the ship numbers on it, that sort of thing, and the other set of decals, I'm not even sure if these are decals actually. They look like stickers maybe. These are the flags. And you get a little thing down here from the Lindberg Line. It gives you some tips how to do things. So that looks kind of interesting. So anyway, there it is. One of the old Lindberg Line ships. And these instructions look pretty simple, pretty easy to follow. Looks like there is a total of 24 steps. Then on the back, they give you some paint and decal options here. You can go with a plain looking paint scheme like this, or you can go with the camouflage razzle dazzle camouflage scheme like this. Apparently you get some crew figures, and they show you some positions and what you can do with these crew figures. Yeah, sounds pretty interesting. Looks pretty interesting. I'm going to open these bags and we're going to see what's inside and get a closer look at the parts. Here are the parts. Let's start with this right here. This looks like some of the decking. Yeah. There's definitely some flash, but there's some pretty decent detail right here. They show all the grain, not grain, but the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. There's some hatches, some bollards. You know, not too bad a detail, I guess. Here we go with some more decking. This looks like part of the main deck in the bow of the ship. See if I can get more light on here. This is a little better. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This looks like where the main gun is going to go in the front. Here's where the anchor chains are going to go down. Some more decking right there. Here we go. Look at all the flash on that thing. Wow. Wowee. Superstructure parts. A couple of boat davits, I guess. Speaking of boats, there's one of them. Not too bad. Looks like a couple of gun tubs here, maybe. There's a couple of anchors right there. Oh, depth charges on their racks. Let's look at this next set of screws. These two are stuck together. There we go. Okay. Let's look at this one. This one has the little nameplate. Just says Minesweeper on it. These look like the boat davits right there. Not sure. There's just a set of stairs. Here are the 20 millimeter guns, I think. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure if they're 20 millimeter or what they are. Could be 50 caliber. Couple of life rafts. And oh, here we go. This looks like the 20 or 40 millimeter Beauforts, maybe. Propellers. There's another machine gun. There's the stand. Here are the propeller shaft, whatever those things are called on the bottom of the hull. And looky here. Here are the little figures. Some crew figures. They are not badly molded, except a couple of these have a lot of flash on them. It's going to be tricky to clean those guys up. The hull comes in two pieces. And it looks like there's some pins to help you guide it together. Anyhow, but let's see what the side of the detailing. The detailing is raised, but that's okay. You can see all the plating here on the ship. So, okay. It looks like an interesting little model. I think it'll be fun to build this. And we will get started on it here soon. See what they want us to do first. Let's look at the instructions here. As usual with these kind of ship models, usually one of the first steps is if it's a two-piece hull like this, the first step is usually gluing the two halves of the hull together, which is what this is. And they also show to put the anchors on. After you get the hulls, the two hulls put together, you put the propeller shafts and the propellers on. Then you start laying the decking on, and etc., etc. You go from there. Start adding all the pieces on the deck. Now, I will have to decide what paint scheme I'm going to go with here. The easier one would be just a plain, gray, red hull type of thing. The second option is the camouflage pattern, which looks kind of interesting. It's going to be black and light gray and then the hull color, the hull red, a black waterline stripe all around. So I might go with this, not sure. Looks like a fun little ship to build. Minesweeper, the U.S.S. Hazard, U.S. Navy Minesweeper. In scale 1/125. That's a pretty good size, you know. Anyhow, when I come back, I'll start gluing this hull together. Okay, there it is. The two halves of the hull are stuck together. It was a bit fiddly, as they say, but it went together. Fit wasn't too bad. A little mismatched here and there, but if you kind of work with it and sort of glue and squeeze along the seam line, and then add some strategically placed pieces of tape here and there to hold that part together that you just squeezed and glued. Yeah, it comes together. There it is. There's the hull. Now the next step I got to do is put a little brace in there and put the rudder in. And then after that we'll start working on the propellers. Okay. Here we have the rudder on, propeller shafts. This apparently was a model that at one time could be motorized. And of course this model kit did not have a motor or anything included with it, and I'm not going to motorize it. And I've got a nice seam here on the hull. The two halves came together that I have to sand before I proceed. I am going to leave these shafts in just like this, and the propellers will get painted separately and put on at a later time. Right now I'm going to sand the hull down and get it taped off and ready for painting. I did build the little stand for the hull for the ship. It sits down on it pretty well. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to get to taking care of this seam on the bottom. All right, I have the bottom of the hull taped off, and I've started on the upper part of the hull. I'm painting in the camouflage pattern, and got the light gray done so far. This here is going to be the black. I have the propeller shafts in, little stand built. So what I have now to do is mask off these areas that are going to be painted, or mask off the gray areas, because I want to paint these areas black. So there we go. Camouflage pattern is on the sides of the ship. Have to do a little touch up with the paint here and there, but overall looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy with this so far. So now, after I do the touch-up painting, I will spray the entire thing with a coat of clear spray to seal in these colors, because I'll need to tape them off again. I'll need to tape them off, all the colors off, so that I can paint the hull. So, I'm just looking it over. Looks pretty decent so far. Okay, well, that's where we're at right now. We'll see what happens next. The decks have been painted, and I have also reinforced them with some styrene strips on the undersides, as they're pretty flimsy. They're still a little flimsy, but they're better than they were. So this is basically, they call for deck blue, but I just used medium blue or light blue. Can't remember. Anyway, it's a blue by Tamiya that I think looks the closest. And some of the boxes on the deck, the ammo boxes and what have you, it's painted the same XF19 that the superstructure and parts of the hull are getting painted. So I'm basically getting ready to do step 4, which is attaching the decks to the hull. But I have the hull outside in my shed where I painted the hull red on it, and I'm about to go get that and bring that in. We'll see how that turned out. And I will still have to put the black waterline around it. But let's look and see first how the hull red came out. The hull red is now on. All that's left to do on the hull is put the waterline around the entire thing. And before I do that, I will give this hull red a coat of clear to protect it. And then I will mask off around here to paint the waterline. So yeah, this is coming along. So far, so good. The deck, oops, deck is going to fit in like so. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's going to work out okay. I have to trim a little bit of the bracing off here for it to lay down totally flat. But so far so good. I've taped off the area that the black waterline mark is going to be put on. I will extend this tape mask a little bit wider before I spray it. I don't want to get any overspray on the red or the gray, if I can help it. Alright, here we have all the masking on. This is the last bit of masking, hopefully I do, on the hull. And this is for the black waterline portion of the hull. Everything else is all done on it. The hull red is done, the camouflage pattern on it. So I'm going to spray this waterline now with flat black, and when I come back we'll take all the tape and masking and paper towels off and everything I've used, and we'll see how it came out. The black waterline is sprayed on, and it's now time to take all the masking off and see what we've got. So off with the masking, and I'll come back when I get it all off and we'll see how it looks. Okay, here we go. The hull is all painted now. Got the waterline on, camouflage pattern, the hull red. This little touch-up spot did not match. I'm going to work on that. If I don't get it exact, it doesn't matter that much since it's on the very bottom. No one's going to see it. I'm going to do a little touch-up down here on the black. Maybe right there too. That's about it. It came out pretty clean, I'd say. Yeah, so we're ready to move on and start attaching the deck pieces. After I touch this up just a little bit, we'll be moseying along. Okay, looks pretty good. So these deck pieces just sort of lay down in here. They aren't the greatest fit, but I can get them to work, I think. It's a matter of lining them up with the edge of the hull here. Yeah. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is put some glue down and at the bow of the ship here, glue this part first, and then work my way down and glue it as I go. And it's kind of a loose fit in the back part here. Right in this area here, it's a little, see how it falls down inside there? That means the deck, the hull has to be squeezed together and then glue it. So that's why I need to start at the very bow here and work my way back. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see how that works out. Let's take the tape off and see how this thing glued up, shall we? There we go. Looks all right. The little touch-up painting here and there with it, and that's about it. So there we go. We have the bow deck glued on. Next, according to the instructions, we put the stern deck on, which is this odd-shaped piece. Then it goes basically the same way. It just lays down here on top of the railing, excuse me, like so. Like so. Just lays down. So we'll put some glue on that and lay it in place. Now, one thing I don't like is how that's, oh, I see. There's a little knob sticking out that it sticks onto down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this thing up. Stern deck and the bow deck are now securely glued on. Now comes the part where I have to build up a little cabin that goes right here, and then put this upper deck on. It's going to rest on the top like that, and there'll be a cabin built up down there and then down here also. So I'm going to find the parts for that, and we'll start building that up. Okay, the cabin walls are installed on the back deck. They fit okay. It was a little iffy. Got quite a seam here. Hoping I can fill most of that in with a little bit of putty and the paint. And this rear deck is going to go on top. And once that's on there, that'll get all enclosed. We'll move on from there. I've added some bracing to the underside of the decking. I've done this kind of bracing on this deck and on the deck in the rear. And then I put a column in there to help hold up the middle of that deck, because these decks do a lot of sagging. And I want this deck to match up with this deck as best as possible, so I went ahead and got those braces lined up, and we're going to see how it all meets together here. It looks like there's a little bit of a uneven spot right there, but I also think most of this seam right here is going to get covered up with superstructure. It sure looks like it. So we won't notice any real, we won't notice too much that there's a little bit of unevenness there, I hope. So anyway, I'm ready to glue this last piece of decking on now. And we'll see when I get back. All right. All the main decking is now on. Not a bad fit for an old kit with poor molding. I beefed up the boat stand with a couple pieces of styrene plastic. It was pretty flimsy. And so I got this seam to match up pretty well. A little bit of an unevenness there, but it's not going to really show. At least it won't show very much anyway, let's put it that way. So there she sits, ready for superstructure parts and other little accessory parts to be added on to the top of this decking. And in the next video, that's what I'll start on. So thanks for watching.